How's everybody doing today? We're going to be presenting Mr. Puti, one of my favorite Archer Queen players and one of the most accomplished players inside the game. Italian pro, coming from EnemyNumberOne. Very excited to have him onto this channel. And today we're going to basically be presenting who Puti is to the community. He's, as I mentioned, an Italian pro. He's been playing since beta. He's won competitions like the CMC Cup, Top 4 Itsu Cup. And overall, he's gotten a lot of great season finishes, with Season 4 finishing at top 27, and this season going for top 25. So here he's going to be presenting his favorite deck, which is this Archer Queen deck. So here inside of this match, so Puti has generously given me some insights to how to play this match, and clearly right off the bat, he's going to be placing that Healing Ranger, Musketeer, Archer Queen synergy here. And yeah, it's always what you want to do against these melee troops. Put your Archer Queen in the front row behind a Healing Ranger, and next to that Healing Ranger you put a Musketeer. So as you can see, get all the healing onto the Musketeer and onto the Archer Queen. That's going to be an easy round number 1 here. Easy number 1. In the second round here, what Puti is really trying to do is basically to put some tanks. Make this, just place more troops so that his gizmos, his minis, will be able to tank through this this Barbarian King and try to DPS down that Barbarian King. But look at that invincibility, getting 5 troops here. That's really what you want to see. Unfortunately, Rocket pops. That's going to be round number 2 for your opponent. But the thing is, our opponent did place a Rocket Gizmo, which is going to be a very, very strong Gizmo against our Archer Queen. Let's see how Puti adapts to such Gizmo. What are you going to do? He's probably going to go for a rocket of himself. And yeah, it's basically what he wants to do. In the third round here, he really wants to invest into that Musketeer. Musketeer is definitely going to be a great mini to place inside of this match, especially with that stun, with that dual shot. And yeah, so as I mentioned, yeah, Musketeer really going to be key. He puts the Giants and Golden Giant and the Swordsman in the back so that the Archer doesn't get too much value. Is the Rocket going to pop? It is not. His Archer is definitely going to be very, very strong, and his Archer is once again going to get the W. That's going to be a very difficult thing to address. And basically, finally in the last rounds, really what he wants to do is max out that Musketeer. He wants to make that Musketeer the MVP of his games and put that Healing Ranger away from the Musketeer, away from the Archer Queen. And that should be enough to secure the W here. But the thing is, it's definitely going to be a difficult game to win here just because of that Archer. So basically, just a quick reasoning behind the Rocket is basically the Rocket is going to be the most useful Gizmo in that scenario, as she's going to be able to DPS down that P.E.K.K.A. It's going to be able to DPS down that Archer, that Wizard. Basically going to be able to wipe out the whole lobby. And that's going to be round number 4 for Puti here. Very clutch Healing Ranger, going to be able to heal that Musketeer, and that's going to be round number 4. Now here it's basically, how is he going to address it? The thing is, he needs to separate his troops. The Rocket can't splash onto both his Archer Queen and his Musketeer, so I wouldn't be surprised if both of his troops are separated. But then again, what he could be going for is an Archer Queen. He could go for an Archer Queen at the back so that his Archer focuses the Archer Queen, puts the invincibility onto the Archer Queen and the Musketeer, and so that the Rocket actually just focuses something else other than Archer Queen Musketeer. That's my idea behind it. I don't know if that'll work, But let's see here. Look at that. Musketeer, Archer Queen gonna be focused on to the his archer gonna be focused onto his Archer Queen. Unfortunately, rocket pops, but look at that 3-star Musketeer putting in the work. She's got enough HP to tank for that rocket, and that's gonna be a beautiful round number 5. Puti showing us how it's done against Barbarian King. Alright, going into game number 2 here. Archer Queen against Archer Queen match. And the one big idea to keep in mind inside of this matchup, according to Puti, is basically in the first round against Archer Queen, you have to protect the Queen by putting Healing Ranger behind for that extra healing, and a Golden Giant or a Giant Skeleton in front line. That's basically what you're going to be doing. And one important thing to note here that I just seen on Puti's notes is that you have to manage your rerolls by putting as many minis as possible to protect that Archer Queen. And that is something that not many people think about. Maybe prioritizing a gizmo, prioritizing all of this. And here, especially with that King Tower, round 2, you want to put as many troops as possible here. So here he basically told me that you have to upgrade the Healing Ranger for the opposing Musketeer, and so that she has more HP. And you really want to, again, promote that Musketeer, upgrade her as much as possible, because she's going to be, on the long run, going to be a menace for the opponent here. So here the Demon decides to go for a Hotpot. Interesting pick, knowing that there is a King Tower here. It's going to be very, very interesting match, to say the least. And yeah. So here, I mean, the Musketeer didn't, the Hotpot on the Demon's side didn't really do too much damage. And I'm thinking right now, if you're round number 3, you're probably going to go for a Healing Ranger extra dose, try to get that healing onto the whole lobby here. Note that this is pre-balance change matches, so the Healing Ranger, it doesn't focus the last enemy, the last ally. And all right, see here right now, he's definitely gonna go for a Hotpot. Very interesting choice, and the reasoning behind this is because the King Tower, between King Tower, Mirror, and Hotpot, he chose the Hotpot because it is very tanky. The Mirror isn't really great because it could have been broken by the King Tower, or because Healing Ranger would heal everyone back up to full health. So it's really why he chose to go for that Hotpot. He chose to go for that tankiness, and unfortunately it's not going to pay off in round number 3, but we are going to see oh, maybe, nah, he's definitely going to get it. So the Demon here gonna get round number 3 here. Interesting stuff. And right now his Archer Queen hasn't, I mean right now it's just a game of who can really protect those Healing Rangers, who can upgrade those Musketeers maxed out. And are you gonna be maxing out Healing Ranger? It doesn't seem like it. He's gonna go for a Giant Skeleton Blast Radius. Interesting stuff. And right now, my question is, how are you going to be able to break through that Golden Giant? How are you going to be able to break through that Healing Ranger all the way top left? You got no Fisherman inside of this variation. It's definitely going to be a tough call. Musketeer going to be receiving energy here. And right now, the Giant Skeleton Bomb going to pop onto the Golden Giant. Golden Giant going to be staying alive. But look at that, Healing Ranger still putting in a lot of work. Musketeer is going to fall on the Demon side, and he's calling it out. The GG's here, because I don't think there's going to be a way for Puti. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Spoke too soon. I spoke too soon here. I mean, I thought the Musketeer falling very early on the Demon side would have gotten him the W here for Puti, but it doesn't seem like it. And now, if you're Puti, what do? You're growling. All right, so here he's going to go for an Archer Queen on the energy tile. Maybe not, maybe Musketeer. Trying to get as much DPS as possible. Swordsman going to be coming onto the board. It's going to go for a stun shot. And right now, it's definitely going to be a interesting match. Going to go for Healing Ranger level 3. Try to get as many troops as possible. Notice how he puts everything on the right. So that Healing Ranger has a lot. Can get the whole lobby healed up. And that's going to be very interesting stuff. Musketeer going to be booping away that Giant Skeleton. Giant Skeleton going to pop his bomb in the enemy side just like ours. And right now, who's going to be able to out DPS? And right now, we're going to pop Invincibility first. But then again, when it's late rounds, that might be something you want to do. Just because right now, you see there's 4 troops on one side, 2 troops on the other. And that should be good game here for Puti, showing us how it's done against an Archer Queen mirrored matchup. And I'll see you guys the next game. All right, here now, last match, Archer Queen against Wave Master, which I find this matchup very, very fascinating, just because Wave Master is going to have that Healing Ranger unstoppable, but then again, Musketeer probably going to be able to break through and stun everyone before that Healing Ranger gets unstoppable. This is definitely going to be a very interesting matchup. Our opponent goes Valkyrie into the whole lobby. Archer Queen going to pop Invincibility, and the thing is, the DPS from all of these troops is just going to be too much. The stun is going to be coming on. And so basically what Puti is telling me is that one big idea to keep in mind is that in the first round, you need to put everything in the back. With the highest mini being the Archer Queen and the Golden Jungle. Musk is really behind, trying not to predict. I mean, the thing is, what you're really trying to do is really get that Musketeer to push back as many troops as possible, especially against a Wave Master deck where the whole vibe, the trend for that Wave Master is definitely going to be launching the troops right onto that Archer Queen. So Musketeer is going to be able to push back as many troops as possible. So notice here, once again, is he going to go for a Gizmo? He's going to go for a pump instead of the King Tower. Interesting stuff here. He told me that the King Tower should be excluded immediately since the other Gizmos, Hot Pot and Pump, are more useful against a Wave Master, as because that is very interesting stuff to say, because the Wave Master is going to be launching troops over the King Tower. The King Tower is just not going to be putting in a lot of work, and Hot Pot is not going to be killed by the King Tower, and Pump is just going to have way more value as the early rounds go, and that's going to be round number 2 for Sharrock. So here, that's a very, very interesting decision by both our opponents, going for that healing, that elixir pump, and let's see what happens here. Because right now, if you're in the position going up against a Wave Master Giant Skeleton bomb, you're really trying to push back the Giant Skeleton as much as possible. Here, unfortunately, Puti does not conserve that Musketeer, so very interesting decision. He's gonna make sure that everything is recycled, and we're not gonna be able to see a Musketeer, which is a very interesting decision to say the least. Giant Skeleton gonna be popping onto the whole lobby, but the thing is, Unstoppable not gonna be coming in enough, and that's gonna be round number 3 here. I mean, I think right now, if you're in Puti's mind, you really need that Musketeer to push back that Giant Skeleton. That Giant Skeleton, 2-star Giant Skeleton, doing 8 damage, popping up to the whole lobby is definitely going to be an issue. And there you see it, Musketeer being in place, quick shot, allowing for that Giant Skeleton to get out as soon as possible of our side. And that's really going to be how you want to handle Giant Skeleton Wave Master combo, so that Giant Skeleton does not pop onto your whole lobby. He's gonna go for a Swordsman on the res tile. trying to keep that main source of DPS on the board. And let's see what happens here. He's going to go and place, you see once again, he's placing all of his troops on the board here. All of his troops. Our opponent goes for a giant skeleton bomb, but look at that giant skeleton going away, and he's just not going to be getting any value here. He's only going to be able to clip that swordsman. Fortunately for us, swordsman does have the res, and that should be round number 4. Look at that swordsman DPSing down that wave master. That's going to be round number 4. Puti showing us how to adapt to your opponent to the perfection. And that's really what I love about Puti, you know? He's got a problem. His main threat, what is it? It's a giant skeleton launch. What do? Musketeer boop. You're gonna go for the quick shot, the clash ability, to get that giant skeleton out as soon as possible, and you're gonna be taking a W. And look at that. Now, my question is, if you're Sharrock, do you want to go giant skeleton on the left? I mean, here we can see where Puti's placing his minis, but Puti has never changed his placements. So would a giant skeleton on the left do the difference? It is what is going to happen. Let's see how it works, because look at that giant skeleton. He's gonna be stuck. He's gonna be stuck, and the giant skeleton is gonna be popping onto the whole lobby except one thing: healing ranger. Look at that, 24 healing straight away, and that's just not gonna be enough. Closing game number 3, round number 5, and that was a beautiful game by Puti, showing us that Archer Queen is really the versatile hero inside this meta, and still being very dominant, even though she got a nerf recently. So thank you so much, Puti, for bringing us your knowledge, for bringing us beautiful games. I hope you have a beautiful Clash Mini career, and I'll see you guys in another video. Later.